old XR has been pretty reliable since I got it, except for the charging system issue. And while that was a big issue, it's resolved and everything's good. But one thing that I have noticed ever since I got it, and it was kind of irritating, was the idle. Once it was warmed up, it had seemed to idle fairly decent. But on cold starts, it would over rev, and then it would hunt. It would drop down, speed back up, drop down, speed back up. Do that 3 or 4 times before it ever settled on a spot where it wanted to go. And I first went to the tuning, and that did nothing. So I was like, well, maybe it is something mechanical. I mean, I thought tuning, because it hadn't been tuned when I got it. It has different pipe, different filter. But I took it apart. Check this out. See if I can hold that. This baby is loose and wobbling all over the place. As you can see right here, it doesn't close all the way. So the screws are loose. I get the screws tightened, then I can see if the throttle stop right here is actually where it needs to be, because with a separate idle system, that should just be closed when it's at idle, and then let the idle air controller do the rest. Yeah, I'd say that's probably part of my problem, if not all my problems. So I think I'll go ahead and take the throttle body off, get it on the bench where I can work on it properly without a chance of dropping any screws down into the engine, and see if that doesn't fix up my problem. Some progress has been made. Went ahead and pulled the screws completely out. Cleaned inside there because it was pretty nasty. There was no reason to adjust the stop, because once everything was cleaned, it comes to a nice, makes a nice seal, makes a nicer seal, way nicer seal than what it was before. So I was able to go in through the bottom. You can't see it down there. Yeah, you can. There's the throttle blade. I was able to stake the back of the screws again so they can't fall completely out. Use red Loctite on them so hopefully they won't vibrate loose again. And it's not a problem if I ever do have to take it back out to use a soldering iron or something to heat those screws up to get them back out. But it should be ready to put back on there. We'll see if this made any difference. I'm not holding out a lot of hope, but it did need to be tightened. I mean, it was obviously loose and flopping around, so we'll see. Okay, it's all back together. I went in with the computer, reset all of the idle stuff back to where it was stock, because if the throttle body was the problem, I didn't want to have everything messed up with the changes I'd made. So everything is back to stock except for the fueling tables, which they work fine. So I'm gonna fire it up and see what happens. But not a complete success. It didn't over rev near as high when it started, so the throttle was definitely leaking. But it's still, you hear it, it would settle down to about 1,000 RPM, then it would go up to 1,500, drop back down, go up, drop back down. I don't know why it does that, and that's what I'm trying to fix. So I'll go back to, now that I know that it's mechanically good, I'll try to do a little more tuning. If anybody knows, you know, what causes it to do that, I just figure it should go to a set idle, whether it's, I think the warm idle set at like 1300. It should just stay at 1300 till it decays down to its normal idle. So I just don't like it jumping up and down. So, I mean, I'll figure it out. But if anybody knows, point me in the right direction, drop a comment. It'd be great. Thank you.